Because that's the
Well,
Febo's.
this could be the St. Anne's Church, and that could be the,
Oh,
that's St. Anne's Church. And
Oh, that's St. Anne's. These are all institutional.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what the institution.
Much smaller than 7,000 square feet.
Yeah,
7,000. Yes.
Oh, down here, that's the library.
that's why it's a separate zoning district, because of the size.
Yeah, that is the library.
These are mostly all 5,000s.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
library.
but I mean, over in here, in this area, there's a number of lots, quite a few lots that are less than 7,000.
Okay.
Okay. That's all right. Don't. Call the meeting to order. This is the workshop to review chapters 9 through 12, which we received from the Planning and Zoning Commission. And again, Mr. Edmondson
9
and
to 11.
Mr. Hinman are, oh, I'm sorry, 9 through 11. Sorry. Mr. Hinman and Mr. Edmondson are excused. And we'll do it like we usually do, go through paragraph by paragraph, and things that are like a spelling or something, anything minor, you can give to me on the side, and we'll make corrections to them. So we'll start off Chapter 9, Parks and Open Space, 9-1, Local and Regional Facilities.
I would say on the second paragraph, or the second sentence, I would add that, after it says large public park, I would say Central Park.
Central Park, yep, I was noticing that, yep,
Because we named all the other parks,
right.
so,
We'll have to
Since
add
we haven't
Central
named
Park
that.
in there. And also, I
How-
would take out that word first, because there's no second up in the line
Yeah.
above it.
I got you.
How about also the town park, the town hall park, which sits right next to us over here? I know it's a small park, but it's used pretty readily during the year. Is that something we want to mention, or is it just part?
That in there?
Okay.
So we're going to change that to 3 public parks,
Yep.
and then add the, what are we going to call that?
Town hall park?
Town Hall Park?
Town Hall Park.
Yeah.
Or the Flying Man Park,
Flying Man Park.
Yeah, remember that?
the statue. Oh, no, we won't, Town Hall Park. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure you can, I thought you guys had all reviewed it, but sure, chime in. Yeah, well, the second paragraph. Wait a minute,
Thank you, Will. On the second paragraph, I sort of would take away the first part of that up to from Weil to Bethany Beach. It reads, while these areas do not comprise a large percentage of the total projects in Bethany Beach, one, I can't define large. Secondly, I did a calculation real quick, and it's at least 20% of the acreage in Bethany Beach that's covered under this section, and I think 20% of open space and park is significant. So as opposed to trying to define whether it's large, small, whatever, I would just remove that.
how about say, they comprised a significant percentage.
Pardon?
well,
They comprise a significant percentage.
If we want to use that word, I mean, that's, you know,
73,
Well, would you rather say 20%?
I don't think it's 20%.
well, if we have 640 acres approximately,
But it's, we
the
have
numbers
70
below total up to, you know, almost 20%
I don't
plus,
think so.
no,
I think it's more like 11,
11?
yeah.
Well, let's see,
Does anybody have a little?
40, 110,
That would be 63, right? 630, 10% of that would be 63 acres. So it's not much
No.
more than that.
It's not much
We have a
more than- it's not-
Here it is.
It's not 20.
Here's calculator.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. So we're doing 73 acres divided by 630? 11.5.
all
Or
right,
you
plus,
rounded up to 12.
plus the
I thought he
wetlands.
said 20.
Oh, you had
But
20?
Yeah, I did, almost 20, plus the
26 and
wetlands.
Well, no, it's 26 and 73, the total.
That's how I read it.
73, yeah. If you count everything, it's 73 acres.
Well, that's now how I read it.
Huh?
It says an additional 73.
It says an
No,
additional
it's not, and that's not right. That's not accurate. I was going to take out all the additionals,
Oh, all right, so what's the number?
because the total is 73.
It doesn't say that, so we have to
I
modify.
know it doesn't say
Right.
that.
And we don't count the wetlands in there either.
Yes, we do.
It does?
Yes, we counted, 24, Nature Center is 26, Town Park and Maryland Avenue extension, that, okay, so it was 63.
Plus the new parcels that we
24,
purchased.
26 or 50, and the Town Park and Maryland Avenue is another 12. So that's.
And that includes all the parcels that we just purchased, the two we just, what is it, 12.4 acres?
Yeah, and then we have,
We have about 13 acres for the wetlands, approximately. I
The
mean, round-
wetlands should be in there, it's open space.
Yeah.
But I wasn't recommending we put a percent in, I was just recommending that we don't say it does not comprise a large percentage. I don't know what a large percentage would be. If I went to Wilmington or Dover, would they have 15%, 10%, 25% as far as open space? So I think it sort of makes it, to me anyway, it makes it seem like, well, we've got a lot of non-open space areas, or that's, and we don't.
I think this was taken from a previous,
It was.
it was, yeah.
Right.
I think we could, if it's all right with everybody, we'll go back and rework that.
Yeah. Good. Plus, if we add the Atlantic Ocean, I think we're in good shape.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the acreage or the amount of space on the beach varies too.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of that, I said, is that high tide, low tide, or is that after nor'easter?
Right after replenishment or 2 years later.
Yeah, it will change this year, right?
Or prior to global warming.
The rise of the sea levels.
If that's all right with you, Mike, we'll go back and rework that
Sure,
and just send it around.
yep.
Thank you. It was a good point, the wetlands aren't in there. Does anybody else have anything on that?
Are we down to the third paragraph yet?
Sure.
Well, I also would, in the first, second, at the end of the third paragraph, we say has a basketball court, also has a volleyball court, if we want to
Gotcha.
be specific.
And also, the Pyle Center, the softball Little League field is in Roxana.
But it's not in Frankfurt.
No, it's in Roxana.
You know, other parks that are not mentioned are, you know, Delaware Seashore State Park, which is to the north of us, which is huge, and James Farm. I don't know about Bayshore campsites, is that I know where it is, but I never thought it comprised of much. It's back off of Cedar Neck, over behind G&E, behind the hardware.
Okay, so we'll add the Delaware Seashore State Park to that,
How about James Farm?
James
and
Farm.
James Farm. Good. Anybody else on that first? Okay, 9-2, recreational facility needs.
I would say at the end of the third paragraph, it starts out with interestingly pickleball, he has to catch on. I think just take that whole sentence out.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, anything under the goals and recommendations?
Nope, not for me, anyway.
Back up a second. What about the last paragraph before goals? Should we mention something about the bandstand? That's to consider human capital, an outdoor and historic and cultural recreation program. I guess that covers the bandstand.
Did I see it?
Here.
On the recommendations?
No, right, the paragraph above it, right there.
Right above the word goal, that last paragraph, we talk about physical investment the town is investing in human capital in outdoor and historic and cultural recreation programs. Should we somewhere mention the bandstand? Or is that covered by,
You mentioned the bandstand in the opening paragraph.
Yes,
Yeah.
do we?
yeah.
As you also mentioned, the Walchuk property and
Yep.
Dematitis properties.
Okay.
Under the, you brought up that point there, aside from physical investment, the town continues to invest considerable human capital in outdoor, historic, cultural, and recreational program. Does that include the nature center? Is there, I was trying to think of a word for the nature center, what they do. Educational?
Yes, you could add educational. You could,
Education.
yes, that's what they're all about, so yes.
Educational,
yes.
yeah. We'll add educational. Anybody else? Anything? Okay, chapter 10?
Yes, under 10-1A, it says table XX.
They'll add that, I
Yeah.
think. Terry, they'll add that, right? Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, under 10-1, it has that table there, the commercial, has that been updated? You know, the commercial, institutional, open space, parks, has that been updated? Has anything changed?
Oh, I think he's, Terry, I think he's referring to that chart then on the next page.
Yeah, under 10-1A? Or 10-1, you say?
With the numbers? Did that come from BJ? Yes, that came from BJ. Okay.
So that's been updated? I believe it has. All right, just questioning, that's all. I'll double check it. Especially recently with all the, what's going on here in town.
I had a question about this refers to the existing land use map. Does everybody have
Yeah, go ahead.
do you have a copy of that?
Is this it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Terry, do you have a copy of that existing land use map? You know, I think I do not have a copy. Okay. No, that's all right. I can talk to you later about it, because I had a couple of questions on the colors and, whether or not some of them were up to date. Okay. Yeah. So we can do that later. Okay, does anybody have any changes on 10-1A?
Other than what I said.
No,
Yeah.
right. Thank you. 10-1A. Then why is it 1A if there's no 1B?
Well, because there's a 10-1,
Okay, 10-1,
and there's a 10-1A.
okay,
10-1A.
gotcha. Thank you.
Mhm.
What about 10-2, planning environment?
Did we, hang on a second, 10-1A, Did we eliminate this one?
No.
Are there only 45 undeveloped lots in Bethany?
Yes, if you go through here.
That's why I said,
counted
you
39.
have that updated.
We did update that?
No, I'm saying, just double check this.
Double check it,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
You know, I said,
I'm
is
sorry,
this been updated?
Okay, 10-2. To A and to B.
Or not to be?
Ten dash 2D. Uh-huh. Mike,
Mike?
thank you.
Okay. Third line down, on the second paragraph, it says the canal appears to be the de facto. Isn't it the de facto? If we're gonna use de facto? I thought, isn't the canal the boundary? Am I right or wrong?
Yes, the canal's the boundary, yes.
Right, so I would just, it's editorial, I know. It says the canal is the boundary.
Thank you. Okay, 10-2D.
Regarding 2C, we want to leave Ocean View's desire to continue growing thoughtfully or not? Do we want to leave that in there?
I'm sorry, what was?
So, under
I see it.
Ocean View, and it says, still, Ocean View's desire to continue growing thoughtfully or not.
Ooh, yeah, that kind of, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of hard.
Thank you.
Yeah, just take that out. It's a good thing that no one reads this stuff.
Thank you, Cliff. This was going to be sent to Ocean View.
Yeah, that's kind of rough, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess I don't even really, what Cliff said is 100% correct, but I'm not quite sure what that whole statement is about. Yeah, I mean, why we have it. Still, Ocean View's desire to continue growing thoughtfully may continue
that
to
out.
challenge the area's overall infrastructure and send an increasing number of visitors to neighboring Bethany Beach.
Yeah.
Ocean View's going to send us visitors?
Well, it just shows, from my perspective, it shows what the impact of the growth of surrounding areas has on our town. You know, it can be negative from standpoint of view, from parking. So some, obviously businesses like it, but from the beach point of view of finding parking. So and because of the fact that we're limited.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The more they build, the more population, the more people coming down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
And the section is planning environment, so this is the environment you're doing
Yeah.
your planning in. And probably if we wanted to, but no need to add more work to it, if we really want to talk about impact, we want to talk about Millville.
Millville, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Terry, was the part about from Ocean View and South Bethany in there because they'll be getting a copy of this? Is that the only reason?
Usually it's adjacent communities.
Okay.
Added this year, I think the planning commission members added South Bethany. we added South Bethany. It's not adjacent, we don't connect, but because of its proximity. It doesn't have to be adjacent.
But actually, the state requires this to be shared
Yes.
with adjacent communities.
Yes, right.
Because their comprehensive plan can be impacted by our comprehensive plan.
Right. I was going back to what Mr. Gravier said about including something, just, I don't know if it's
From Millville.
Millville.
We can add that if you'd
Okay.
like.
Yeah.
Well, is Millville far enough away? I mean, these are basically.
I think it is. It's really not adjacent to.
It's not adjacent to us, there's a town between us and them, so.
Exactly.
Right, but modifying that sentence about Ocean View to include the growth in the surrounding areas that's impacting us.
Yeah, that's a
Going-
different,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, but not having a whole section
Right,
from Millville.
right, not having a whole section,
Yeah.
but just a comment or a
You
sentence.
you just want to comment in that section?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's still Ocean View and Millville.
Anything else on Ocean View or South Bethany? Uh, 10.3, future land use within the town.
My own question, has the chart that's in here for future land use parcels exactly, has that been updated?
Yeah, we'll double check that, yeah.
Table?
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry. Uh, 10-4, land use and zoning.
The paragraph that starts out, zoning works with a subdivision regulation.
Okay, so that's the
Under 10.4, the
Right.
second part.
zoning works with subdivision regulations, yeah.
That second paragraph, it ends with, the word is becoming blurred. How about can be challenging? So this outline service, sewer, gas, increasingly this distinction between zoning and subdivision regulation, it says becoming blurred. I just suggest that maybe change it can be challenging.
Are you okay with that, Mike?
Yeah, that's fine, better, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
better way. I also have a comment on the first line of that paragraph. We say zoning is the chief means for implementing. I would suggest that a better word may be primary as opposed to chief.
Yeah,
And it,
it's a better word.
What was the word? Primary?
Yeah, good idea, yeah. Rather having Indians.
You can't do that.
Anything else on 10-4? Okay, 10-4A, Bethany Beach's existing zoning classifications.
No, I didn't see anything in there.
Yes.
On the R1-A Boardwalk Residential District, midway through that paragraph, it says there's also a minimum lot area of 2,500 feet. Should that be square feet?
Should be square feet.
Thank you.
And under R2 residential, it lists individual lots require 7,000 square feet. I believe we have a number of lots that are less than 7,000 in the R2 areas, notably along Hollywood, along Parkwood, and I believe some on Wellington as well.
How about adding the word generally?
Sure.
I think we should be careful with that,
What's your thought?
because we don't want lots in the R2 to be generally 7,000 square
Right,
feet.
okay, got it.
We want them 7,000
7,000
feet or
square feet.
more. So I think generally would, that's a lawyer's dream word.
Right.
But then you've got, I mean, you've got lots over here that are only 40 foot wide, and they're,
Yeah, but most of those were there before we even had a building
Oh, yeah.
code. So, I mean, they're basically grandfathered in.
okay,
So
okay.
this is going forward.
You don't want anything that's going forward to allow somebody to come in and put a 5,000 square foot lot there.
Understood.
They were developed at the same time the lots east of Route 1 were developed. They were just a small portion of what the founders laid out.
Right.
Yeah, planning and zoning handles those on a case-by-case basis. When it comes up to us, we modify the zoning to meet what's actually there. So, yeah, that's sort of what we do. And
They updated this to match the table of dimensional requirements.
The microphone, please.
Sorry. This was updated to match the table of dimensional requirements in the code, which is what only says 7,000 for R2. So they edited those sections to match the minimum lot areas in that table. So they're complement to each other.
Lou, do you remember several years ago, we had a discussion about those lots being undersized, and we wanted to change, they wanted to change the zoning to something else, and we said no?
No,
Yeah, I thought that's what's,
Yeah,
I remember
exactly.
when I was on the planning commission, we went through all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we have to be careful there, because, I mean, again, you use very general terms.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Along with that, are standalone bars allowed at all in Bethany Beach?
No,
No,
Because it does say here, are generally not allowed.
they're not allowed.
Okay, so we'll take out that word generally. There's,
C2 Neighborhood Commercial District.
yeah, C2 and CL1.
just take out the word generally.
Generally, yeah.
Generally not allowed.
Even though sometimes in summer my house turns into a standalone bar, but. All the people stop in.
Okay, anything else in that section? 4A. About 10-5, community
Yep.
development, future land use, oh, excuse me.
yeah, no, I have a comment on that section.
On 10-5?
Yes,
Okay.
the fourth line down, the sentence starts, "The town is not dead set against." I would suggest we change dead set against to opposed to.
As opposed, yeah.
Opposed, opposed.
Yeah,
Opposed
all right.
to, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's better. Thank you. What about 10-5A?
Under position on housing growth, shouldn't it be Bethany Beach is apostrophe S,
Oh, yes.
all right? And,
I think it should be NES.
No, it's at Bethany
It's
Beach.
Bethany Beach.
Beach welcomes.
oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
Yeah,
should be no S at all.
no S.
And on the next, shouldn't towns be capitalized?
Yeah, he was going to go through that, BJ, and they'll take care of all that.
So
yeah.
it's consistent
Yeah.
with the
Make them
town's
consistent.
code
Yeah.
and community character.
Yeah, thank you.
Do we want to say anything about, I mean, we're saying position of population growth and housing growth. How about commercial growth? Is that something we want to say anything about? commercial growth.
It's pretty limited, isn't it?
It's a limited area,
Yeah.
but again, I think maybe something to encourage renovation in that area, because we have some places that could use a little renovation. Not stuck on it, just a thought.
But, you know, from our standpoint, that's probably a good suggestion. It's probably a good suggestion. We do talk about community vision and housing. Commercial is definitely part of the, and so we should
It could be.
provide you with something on that.
It could be modeled on the housing growth type
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's been
It's a
some
good
good,
suggestion.
there's been some good renovations and,
Yep.
and some areas look very nice.
Yeah, that is definitely a question that, you know, the state should ask us if we don't have it there, or at least our residents would probably want to know, well, what are you guys thinking about commercial around here? So, you know, if I go way back, when the town had that vacant property on Kent Avenue where the library is now, there was all sorts of discussion as to what was going to go there. Was it going to be the library came in later, but the fire department was thinking about going there. The Public Works was going there, so it was a rather tense discussion time. So, no, I agree with you on that.
Lively better. So what are we gonna say here then?
You could model it on, to Ron's point, you could model it on what we have with the position on housing growth, you know, welcomes ongoing investment, care, and renovation of existing business properties, something like that.
All right.
I don't think that anybody is in favor of expanding the business district,
No.
no.
No, but in the districts, changes could be made.
Yeah.
Like the strip mall might become something else.
Right. Like that building was taken down and Rope Walk put in too,
Right.
you know. Terry?
Turn on well. One of the things that they talked about when we talked with the State Housing Authority was like a mixed use in commercial. So that could be something you could say, you know, but we don't have a zoning for that. I mean, we see some of it in the downtown area here, but not on 26. So that's something to, you might want to say, you know, continues to investigate other uses in the commercial district or something like that.
Well, my problem is making a statement like that is not something that we're actually gonna do.
I mean, at some point, when you redevelop, at some point when you redevelop, when they redevelop along Route 26, that you may want to make housing available above some of those buildings, but that's a long way off.
And that's permitted right now downtown in C1.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's already been done at the Blue Surf. It's already been done at the Blue Surf.
It's permitted here, but not out there.
Yeah.
Well, the other issue up there would be parking. There's no place, I mean, barely can make parking there to begin with.
that's true.
And if you put residential in there,
Right.
then you'd have to actually have parking for residential because our code requires X number of spots, so that wouldn't work.
I do have a comment on the last paragraph, on the second paragraph, on 10-5B. It reads, moving into the future, it seems most appropriate to respect. These are, again, editorial. I would just get the phrase moving into the future and remove that. I'm a big believer in don't use a lot of words when you don't need to use words, but eliminate moving into the future and eliminate the word after seems, which is most appropriate. And at the end of that sentence, just as valid today, I would just say remains valid today. Again, that's just editorial.
Would you read the sentence as you're?
Okay, the sentence out would,
Slowly,
pardon?
slowly for me.
Slow.
Thank you.
Okay. I would recommend the sentence read this way. It seems appropriate to respect the integrity of this long-term vision that was set forth nearly a half-century ago and remains valid today.
Okay.
Great. That's good. That's a good upgrade.
I wrote codes for a while.
Did you get that? Thank you, Mike.
We're not getting paid by the word.
No, definitely not.
Anybody else? Okay, 10-5C.
Just a grammatical thing in that second paragraph. It says the last geographic edition, I think it's of instead of off.
Thank you.
And then on the first paragraph, second to the last line, it says the town would prefer to embark. I would replace that or recommend the town would embark.
Where is that again, Mike?
Is in the first paragraph
First
of
paragraph.
10.5C.
The
at the-
town would, is right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, would prefer, I would just eliminate prefer to. And it would read, the town would embark.
There's a word missing.
A word missing?
So should such an unlikely eventually present itself? There's something
Yeah.
missing. Unlikely
Event,
event,
yep.
event, present itself.
And my recollection was that whole section, if the town were ever to annex something, we have to have that acknowledgement of expansion in the 10-year plan so that we can do it.
Yeah.
If you don't, then we'd have to modify the plan
Yeah.
before you did anything.
Right.
And somewhere, I have it under I have a comment at the end. I also believe, and Cliff and Lou, correct me, I think any annexation requires the town residents to vote on.
It does.
Oh, yeah,
So,
definitely.
so we should mention that.
It's in the charter.
Well, I know, but we're saying 10-year plan, people read that, so I want to make sure we answer a question before the question's asked of us. So if we somehow could put something in there saying the residents will vote, or whatever you would say. No, and I agree, I know that, Mayor, but I'm trying to eliminate a question that somebody may have once they read this thing.
In the first paragraph in 10.5C, where it says the town of Bethany Beach has no plans, we have had discussions over the years, and just discussions, regarding the possibility of annexing the guard camp. So it's nothing that's, and it's been at a fairly high level, but it's sort of stalled here in the last 3 or 4 years. But it's still out there. I wonder if we'd be better served to say has no immediate plans.
Yeah, we went to a number of those meetings over at there, to talk about that.
Wasn't it going great until we changed generals?
Something like that, yeah.
I think one of the impediments has changed over time, I think, with a couple of retirements, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the last paragraph of the thing about the Loop Canal, it says that the people that are along the canal have ownership of the banks. but the town is successful, and I assume that means that the part that's right up to Pennsylvania Avenue is what we own. Why are we maintaining the banks then?
This is inaccurate. The town owns the canal in its entirety. The
Okay.
banks are privately owned.
I thought somehow we owned it, because we were maintaining them, so.
It's the way that sentence is worded.
Yes.
It's because it was in the hands of private ownership until 2016. It's inartfully expressed.
Okay, well, that's what I was getting at. It
So
sounds
Terry
like,
can artfully express it.
so basically, we own the canal and the banks back a certain distance.
Yes.
How far back do we own the banks?
I don't know if we own the banks or not. I'm sure there's some private ownership that's in the canal.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no right of way,
Point in
there's no
time.
right of way?
No, because, I mean, that's how they justify having docks there, you know, because it's their property, not the town property.
With some people, but some
Yeah.
people have come back to the town because it's a town property.
Yeah.
Didn't at one time we talk about excuse me, putting a walkway in from Route 1 through to Pennsylvania
I knew
Avenue
he was
on
gonna
our
say
property?
something like that.
Didn't we?
What?
We were talking about a walkway between Route 1 and Pennsylvania Avenue, and there was supposedly land there that we owned to do that.
No, that was the alley. I think that was when we were talking about the opening up that alleyway.
Oh, the alley
The alley.
adjacent to the loop, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And we own that, yes.
Right.
There's a little common alley there.
Okay.
So are you recommending that? So,
Let's do one area at a time. So we're gonna rewrite this paragraph somehow?
Yes.
Terry's gonna be busy.
Okay, anything in 10-6, the goals and objectives? Okay, Chapter 11, Implementation and Intergovernmental Coordination. 11-1, Post-Plan Requirements.
Can move to 11.2.
Sure.
In the introduction paragraph, the next to last sentence, it says, in and out of state that may tax, how about may impact local and state infrastructure, rather than tax, could be confused.
Yeah, and I object to the thing, it says aging population too. The maturing population.
How about social security recipients?
I know what the alternative is.
Look at Mark.
Well, maturing population sounds a little better.
Anything else on 10-2, 11-2? 11-3. Anybody with? Nothing?
Nope.
No? No?
Oh, yeah, at the, let's see, the fourth recommendation, the town is Bethany Beach Sanitary District. Has this changed the 3 million gallons per day for the sewer?
I believe that's our current number.
All right, but it's nothing, I just wanted to see if it's
I
been
think that
updated.
includes the new water tower.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just thinking because of increased number of people who have moved here, so on a full-time basis. But, yeah, I just, you know.
We haven't seen much
all right, that's all I
fluctuation.
needed.
Okay.
You answered my question.
In recommendations, the ones relevant to transportation need to be rewritten, and I'll do that to comply with the changes we made in the transportation section.
Thank you, Cliff. Anybody else?
That's it.
Mike, you have anything else, Mike? No? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, we're all done.
That was painless.
It was, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And thank you for all you guys did. Yeah.
I have a couple of grammatical
Oh, yeah, thank you.
It's chapter 9. The